Hey folks, Dan Tamarkin here from Tamarkin Camera in downtown Chicago to talk a little bit about the 50 Summicron. We have a few 50 Summicrons here on the counter, and they are all the first version, and I'd like to show them to you. The first one that we have is the Collapsible 50 Summicron, and this lens can be collapsed into the camera. It can be collapsed onto digital cameras as well. This lens is the very first of the 50 Summicrons that Leica made. Originally, these lenses were made in screw mount. These are called LAK9, and these are lanthanum. You can see a little bit of the orange cast that's in these lenses, and we have two examples in screw mount. And these are basically the same lens as our regular collapsible without the lanthanum or thorium glass. And so the very first Summicron, 50 Summicron, was made collapsible, and it was made in both screw mount and in M mount. This is the very first 50 Summicron that Leica made, and they made them in both screw mount and in M. And then Leica made the rigid 50, and it's called the rigid 50 because it doesn't collapse. And we're going to look at one particular 50 rigid, and this is a later 50 rigid, but I want to show you what the early ones look like. And if you notice the difference between the two knurling styles, this is the later style and this is the earlier style. And so the rigid Summicron, as you may notice, has an infinity lock. This is made from the same formula as the collapsible lenses. It's virtually identical. We consider all of these here at Tamarkin Camera to be the first version of the 50 Summicron lens. The other lens that Leica made that's non-collapsible first version of the 50 Summicron is called the dual range Summicron. And the dual range Summicron is very easy to identify because it has this fixture on the top with a little button on it. And I'll show you what this button does. When we are in the regular focus of the lens, this little button cannot be depressed and our near focus attachment cannot fit on. And so what we do is we move the lens all the way to the near focus, we pull it up and move it over, and now it won't even move in the near focus range until we put our near focus attachment on the lens, and now we can focus down to nearly 18 inches. And then when you're done focusing in the close scale, you can simply take off the near focus attachment and move the lens back over to the regular focus range, which will bring you to infinity. I have another special camera here and special 50 Summicron lens. This is the Compour Summicron with its activator arm. You can see the shutter action here. This is a very rare lens. I think only about 100 of these were made. Let's talk about lens shades, because they all take pretty much the same lens shade. So here we have our rigid, and our rigid lens can take what's called an Irua lens shade, which also reverses on the lens, and there's a cap that goes on it. It works for any of these models. They all have the same diameter, but they made another shade for the 50 Summicron lens, and this one is a little vented affair, and it also fits. This is called a 12585, and they made it in plastic as well. This would also be correct for a 50 Summicron lens. If you have any questions about Leica, about 50 Summicrons, or any lens or any camera made by Leica over the last 100 years, please give us a shout at 1-800-BY-LEICA or on the World Wide Web at tamarkin.com. We'd be happy to answer your questions and find the perfect 50 Summicron for your next adventure.